Hey there, I'm Daniel Naaden. You probably don't know me, so here's who I am. In my musical journey, I started piano at age 7 and guitar at age 10. Guitar was the instrument I was most interested in playing, as my dad would play a lot of classic rock in the car and in the house. My biggest early influences were Richie Sambora in the early Bon Jovi years and Eddie Van Halen. I took lessons at a public academy for a while before eventually being taught by my uncle, who releases music under the name Dreambo. I started playing electric guitar at age 13, taking much inspiration from metal bands like Metallica, Megadeth, and Pantera, while also enjoying to play the calm solo guitar of Rob Scallon. In September of 2020, I started uploading publicly to YouTube. The concept was to make videos similar to Rob Scallon's Half Hour Of series, where he would play guitar for one half-hour-long take. The difference, however, was that my videos would move around a lot, from practicing my favorite songs to writing new songs. I played a few online concerts for a few classmates on a school website, performed in a church talent show, and occasionally posted music on Bandcamp and YouTube. Eventually, I joined a band with the academy that taught me guitar, where I played my first ever live show with a band. Later on, I joined another band from the same academy, where we wrote a metal song and I got to perform that piece as well. I've collaborated with a few musicians from many different musical backgrounds. I've played with a metal guitarist, a noise musician, and a virtuoso pianist. I've even been the apprentice of a local DJ. Now, why should you care about who I am? Well, I've been recording and publicly releasing music since 2020, and my main content consists of videos that prove that I can play well for long periods of time. But most importantly, I have become a video game music composer. Starting with music for my little brother's video games, I have begun to write all kinds of music for all different kinds of needs, like loud metal guitars, soothing clean guitars, and even some noise. So if you or someone you know has a project like a video game, or even some kind of film project that needs music, I'm your guy. Did you know that I have a piece of Eddie Van Halen's guitar on my guitar? Yes, this is a true story with video evidence. My prime guitar, a Dean MAB2 Aviator, has a locking nut piece that used to belong on one of Eddie Van Halen's guitars that he used in the 5150 tour.
This little piece right here, it fell in between here, so I grabbed one out of the drawer that I knew was there. And the reason why it was there is a guy brought in he brought in actually a guitar from Metallica, Metallica's guitar player, and then he had 3 Eddie Van Halen guitars. Before he left, he left one of these, so I just grabbed it off of here and stuck it in the drawer, and I haven't seen him since. And it's not really a big deal because these are interchangeable parts.
Yeah.
But the good part is I know where this came from, and you got a little story you can attach to that because that's where it came from,
It's truly an incredible thing to possess, and I'll always treasure the memory of that great Guitar Center tech giving it to me and explaining the significance of that locking nut piece. As much of a metalhead as I am, as my channel displays, I also have a deep love for electronic music. So much so that I found this really cool synthwave artist named Shikimo on the internet, and was so impressed and inspired by his music that I covered his song Omen, which he actively helped me out with. It was a huge honor to be helped with the cover of a song by a musician more popular than I. And speaking of musicians more popular than I, when it comes to the realm of composing music for video games, my biggest inspiration by far is Mick Gordon, the legendary composer of the music for Need for Speed, Killer Instinct, Doom, Wolfenstein, and many more titles. I sent him an email once with a cover of his secret blues solo in the Killer Instinct Season 2 soundtrack, explaining what I heard to him and how I had learned it entirely by ear. I even taught this melody to a student of mine. He even responded back to me with the lesson on how to actually play the song. This was huge for me, as now I knew that if Mick Gordon was impressed by my abilities to play his songs, then surely I can become like him. A non-musical accomplishment I have on the internet besides a gaming channel is a podcast with my great friend Adventure Karma. He and I have a podcast named Idiots on the Airwaves, a show where we talk mainly about music, but also about video games, society, and culture, and much more. We invited the great synthwave artist Shikimo on our show one time to talk about his music and the realm of digital music.
Any specific reason why there's such a big space theme?
Not really, honestly. I've always been very infatuated with space. It's something that really is one of the things that I kind of shape my music around a lot of times. It's very, I don't know, I just find it extremely interesting. Like sci-fi movies and media are just some of my favorite like forms of content. And I really gravitated to that. The gravity pun.
In the present, I have begun to live stream my practice sessions across multiple platforms when I can, as it is far more practical for me to live stream that type of content instead of recording and uploading it. I continue to work on video game music, collaborating with other musicians I know to continue writing songs, and still doing fun things like going to see Meshuggah on their Immutable tour. I am Daniel Naaden, and I make video and music for entertainment. Have a good one.